Hello class, Mrs. Jones here. Today we're going to be talking about the constant of proportionality. So first, let's take a look at an example up here at the top. Liam is making breakfast for dinner, yum, using a pancake mix. In this pancake mix, the table tells me for every 1 cup of mix, he can make 12 pancakes. That means for 2 cups of mix, he can make 24 pancakes. Looking at this, I'm going to answer some questions over here. How many cups of milk will he use for 12 pancakes? Well, 1. I'm not doing any math, I'm just reading the table. How many cups of milk will he use for 24 pancakes? It says 2. Now, we want to look at the ratio of cups of mix to servings, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this just a little bit. I want to know the ratios, but as we know, we need to take the y value and divide it by the x value. Let's look at these two ratios. In my first pair, if I were to take the ratio of 12 over 1, that equals 12, right? Because 12 divided by 1 is 12. The other ratio of my other pair is 24 over 2. 24 pancakes to 2 cups of mix. Again, if I go ahead and divide, 24 divided by 2 is also 12. They're the same. That makes this a proportional relationship. Our definition over here, we're going to fill it in now that we know what it looks like. A proportional relationship is a relationship is proportional when the ratio of y over x, okay, y over x like we just did, is constant. Constant meaning the same or equal. Okay, because these are the same thing, they are constant throughout the table. And it would continue. If I had 3 cups of mix, I could use that constant and go 3 times 12 would give me 36 pancakes because of the constant. And because this is a proportional relationship, it'll always have that relationship. Now, let's talk about this constant. The constant is the value of the ratio of 2 proportional quantities. Okay, we just mean the value of 2 quantities. Okay, the value is the answer. It is represented by an equation where constant equals y, okay, whatever your y value was over here, divided by x. Okay, so just how we created these little division problems, that is how you find the constant. Because that is so important, I'm going to highlight it. Okay, y represents this side, x represents this side. If I want to make an equation for the whole table's relationship, I would use this special equation. I would say that the value of y, okay, so if I wanted the answer over here, that would equal your constant multiplied by x. What that means is that this 36 right here, I got that by taking 3 times the constant. My x value times the constant gives me the y value. Now, those of you who are familiar with the rules of variables, you know we don't really need to write that multiplication sign right there. I could just write y equals constant times x. Having no sign in between those two means multiplication. Because that's another formula, let's go ahead and highlight that. We have 2 formulas here that we're going to end up using today. Let's do some practice. First, for examples 1 through 3, I want you to find the constant. Okay, we're going to just cross off these directions right here. I just want you to tell me what k equals. What's the constant? For these examples, we are going to fill in the entire table to make sure that the constant is constant, that it doesn't change. So let's do this by making some ratios. As you can see on the table, it does say y divided by x. So here we go. The first one, the y value is 6, the x value is 1. On the next set, the y value is 12, the x value is 2. In the next set, we have 18 over 3, and the last set is 24 over 4. Now the constant is the value of each of these ratios, or the answer. So let's go ahead and do the value. I've got my calculator here in case I need it. 6 divided by 1 is 6. Okay. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Constant so far. Let's keep checking. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And 24 divided by 4 is 6. These are all the same. They are constant. Because they are constant, this table represents a proportional relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and write my answer down here. The constant is 6. It worked. Try number 2 on your own. And let's do number 3 together. For number 3, when we do the ratio of y divided by x, you will notice that 4 divided by 8 is not going to turn out very nicely, meaning it will not come out as an even number. In fact, 4 divided by 8 equals 0.5, or a half. Some of you will be very tempted to switch the order around so that the 8 goes on top. Don't do this. Okay? The constant has a special order so that when we get to graphing relationships later, everything will work out on the graph. Let's finish this table and see if all of them are the same. If we go y divided by x, 5 over 10, 6 over 12, and 7 over 14. Each time, when I put those in my calculator, I do get 0.5, or a half. That means the constant for this table is 0.5. So what we really need to learn from examples like this is that we must take the y value divided by the x value. Turning it around will make it the wrong constant. As you all know, there is a reciprocal nature when you go backwards. Okay? we said that 0.5 equals a half, and this is true. When we go from here to here, we're multiplying by a half. You guys know that if I were to go backwards, it would be the reciprocal. But that reciprocal is not the constant, so don't get them confused. Now that we know how to find a constant, let's look at a story problem and see if we can find the constant. Number 4 says the cost of 6 pounds of almonds is $23.28. What is the constant of proportionality? Okay, we're looking for K. That relates Y, the number of dollars, to X, the number of pounds. All right, so to do this, we need to realize that we have an X and a Y table, and we don't get to choose which one goes where. The problem told us. It told us that Y was the cost in dollars, and that X was the number of pounds. So if I fill in my table according to what I know, this has 6 pounds, and this has $23.28. In order to find the constant, I would do exactly like we were doing up here with this table that I just created. I would need to take the Y value, 23.28, and divide it by the X value, which is 6. I'm going to use my calculator to help me with the decimal work. 23.28 divided by 6 is 3.88 is my constant. So that means for every 1 pound of almonds, I'm going to be paying $3.88. Okay, so story problems aren't all that hard. All you need to do is create your X and your Y table, and then it's just like we were doing up here. I'll let you finish 5 on your own, the same way we did here. Go ahead, do it now. And we're back. Let's look at number 6 together, because this time we have a graph. Instead of a story problem, we have a graph. So we're going to be using our coordinate pairs, okay? Just like when we had the parentheses with the comma, the X and Y's can be filled out onto your table. Ta-da! And there they are. We have 0, 0, 110, 220, 340, and 440. Your paper wants you to find the constant. I have mine covered up because I already know the answer. When you find the constant, you need to find a pair and divide. I could take 40 divided by 4 is 10, or I could take 10 divided by 1 is also 10. So our constant is 10. Now, the next part wants you to notice that the point 1, 10 is showing you the constant. You remember how I told you when you graph a proportional relationship, order matters? If you graph it in the correct order, this first point at 1, anything is going to show you that constant. Look, 10, 10, 10, 10. They're the same. And the same thing will happen to us in this other graph over here. Let's write down a few points that we can see. I drew some points at 1, 3, 2, 6, and 3, 9. I drew them in there. If I divide and find the constant, 9 divided by 3 is 3. And look at the point 1, 3. That's your constant. Pretty cool, huh?